What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Winter fragrances. Believe it or not, even here in the panhandle of Florida, I've been getting my share of some cooler to cold weather in the 30-degree mornings on into the low 50s. It's been crisp and cool. We got a breeze coming off the water, so been having some weather to wear the heavier stuff. And in this video, we're talking about 15 all-timers in my collection. Some are a bit newer, some are discontinued, but these I only wear in the winter time. These are superstar stud home run bangers. Oh my God, they smell amazing type of fragrances, and we're gonna discuss them. Stay tuned. Starting with something nice and affordable, sweet, coffee leather, great performance. Ferragamo's Uomo signature. I still deem it to be one of Ferragamo's best creations ever. It kind of smells like if you took the mintiness away from Versace Eros and you added some coffee and leather, because I find it has a similar sweetness. Great performance. In my experience, high level compliment getter. Obviously nothing here is a guarantee. I may from time to time, depending on what comes to mind, tell you about certain compliment situations and some being better than others. This being better than others in my experience. Again, it has this warming, refined meets youthful type of feel. I don't mean refined as in high level quality. I mean refined as nuance, because it's a soft, supple leather with a little bit of coffee, a bit more interesting type of profile with that enjoyable everyday wear type of youthful vibrance of sweetness that you get from a fragrance like this. Vanilla, kind of a little fruity up top. Really good stuff, especially for the money. It's Uomo signature. We're going to step the price point up here. We're talking Roja Dove. We're talking Cozy Cuddly, another high compliment factor fragrance. We're talking Roja Parfum's Creation E Parfum Cologne, also known as Enigma Parfum Cologne. This has that cola vibe to it, though it's more about earthy tobacco, sweet, boozy cognac. You have some fresh, bright florals like heliotrope. It's nice and ambery, some spice. Such a great fragrance to sniff on. It really is. I only wear this one in the winter, typically December, January time frame. It smells so freaking good. This is kind of a must try from the house. It's one of his best creations when it comes to mass appeal, high compliment factor, great evening out, date night type of fragrance as well. I like to wear this one during the day even in the cooler weather. There's just something so alluring and enjoyable about this profile. It has nuance, it develops, but it's easy to wear at the same time. Again, that's Roja Parfum's Creation E Parfum Cologne. A top fiver in my collection. I love this stuff. It's got a little bit of oud funk, some saffron spice, some leather, a burnt vanilla smell. It is Vertus Vanilla Oud. Oh man, one of the greatest fragrances I've ever smelled in my life. I only wear it this time of year because it is so warm, cozy, and cuddly. Again, when it comes to oud-based fragrances, it's not the most challenging thing out there, but it's also not some designer fragrance that you're going to wear to work every day either. So there's that. Try before you buy. Sometimes you can get it below $100. For Fragrance Buy's Black Friday sale, they had them for $97, cheapest I've ever seen it. But most of the time, it's in the low 100s. And for what you get for your money with this niche fragrance, I think it's a great, great pickup for a lot of people. A lot of people have taken my recommendation on this one, and the majority have fallen in love with it. Just know if you blind buy it, you're taking a risk. You might not like it. You might be like my friend Josh and think it smells like Band-Aids covered in brown sugar that you set on fire. Doesn't that sound weird? You can't unhear that. But to each their own. Every time I talk about it, I got to give him a hard time. It smells incredible to me. My God, is this so good. Sample. You might fall in love with this one. Vertus Vanilla Oud. Warm and ambery, earthy green patchouli, smoked vanilla. What a great release. Smells nothing like its namesake. Invictus Victory Elixir smells nothing like Invictus. Nothing. No bubblegum aquatic to be found in this DNA. But boy, if you take the fact that it's in an Invictus bottle out of it and you just judge the fragrance, is it such a great designer vanilla. Dark, earthy, smoky, ambery, not too spicy, not over the top creamy, not a powder bomb, a little touch of powder. Great performance. Another super alluring, attractive, cozy type of fragrance. You're probably going to get some compliments with this. I get the occasional compliment. I know a lot of people in my little live stream community I've built over the years that wear this one. It's a go-to for them this time of year, as it is for me. It's the only time of year I pull it out, and if you have it, I suggest you pull it out this winter as well. Invictus Victory Elixir. 'Tis the season for the best Bentley For Men. It's my opinion. That means it's my favorite. Best means favorite in a subjective art form, because we all feel different and have different tastes, right? But Bentley For Men, the original, I only wear it this time of year. I might wear it once or twice a season. And it's like 25, 28 bucks or something like that. I like this more than the Intense because it's not as intense and in your face, but it's still really strong and really long lasting. This is more about spice and booze than it is dense woods, leather, and smoke. Bentley For Men Intense is great. I prefer this. I always have. The original, I think, is the best in the line. Uber masculine, man's man type of stuff. Taking a shot of rum. This is, denim jeans, big belt buckle, blazer, 5 o'clock shadow with the beard. You know what I mean? It's that kind of vibe. Not going to be for everyone, but I love this shit this time of year. The original Bentley For Men. Okay, Discontinued. I only wear this in the cold. Pro tip, okay? If you want this, and I mean the same smell, which you can find out in the marketplace for around 50, 60 bucks, is Mercedes-Benz Club Extreme. Had I known it was identical to this, I would not have bought Mercedes-Benz Club Extreme, because I like to wear Amen Pure Malt from Mugler. Even though Club Extreme doesn't list a whiskey note, it still smells like this fragrance. It's got that sweet, boozy, somewhat spiced, earthy patchouli smell. It is a dead ringer. They are one-to-one. That is a clone of this. I'm convinced. Club Extreme is a clone of Pure Malt. So, pro tip, because this is Discontinued, you're going to pay a pretty penny from resellers to get this. And believe it or not, I bought this at Marshall's years ago. When they discontinued it, they were popping up. I got this and Pure Coffee for like 40, 50 bucks at Marshall's in Texas years ago. So, not like that no more. But if you get an opportunity to smell this, or Club Extreme, again, I'm telling you, it's a dead ringer. It's the same thing. This is amazing. It's warm, cozy, very masculine, just the right amount of earthy meets sweet booziness for the winter. It's such a great cold weather fragrance. I wear this one again once, maybe twice a year, but it's the time of year when I pull this one out. It is one of my favorite Amen flankers of all time, especially if you like the boozy accord. Again, that's Mugler Amen Pure Malt. When it comes to winter, this fragrance is iconic. How many of you wrestling fans caught that? I love this fragrance. 'Tis the season for leather, chocolate, sweet fruity Maninka, Boss the Scent Private Accord. This is my big 200 ml bottle. Not that easy to find anymore. Dare I say Discontinued? I don't know for sure. I've heard that in the past. I can't confirm, nor will I. But boy, I love to wear this one during Christmas time. This is the only time of year I wear it. It's such a Christmas time fragrance for me. Winter is here kind of thing. Again, it's a little powdered leather type of accord. You have the fruity Maninka smell, the signature note of this DNA. And there's other gourmand elements to it, but it's mainly this powdered chocolate leather kind of thing going. And I still don't think it to be a gourmand. It just gives it depth and character and sweetness and just holiday spirit is kind of how I feel about it. Such a great fragrance, well above average performance. This stuff has magic in its sillage, high compliment, super high compliment factor in my experience with this one. This is wonderful to smell on others, let alone on yourself. Just smelling this in the air is that good. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. But if you get an opportunity to smell this one, it's great for this time of year. Again, that's Boss the Scent Private Accord. Last year I wore this for Christmas. I might wear it for Christmas again this year. It's an odd duck. Pasha de Cartier Noir Absolu. It's an odd duck. So it does have that fougere, earthy green smell to it still. With this, it's like setting caramel on fire. Burning wood with caramel. It's so interesting. This is polarizing. This is not for everybody. Not everybody's going to like this and feel this way. I think it's so interesting, so different. It is over-the-top masculine for being based around caramel. Because again, it's like burnt caramel and woods with earthy green oak moss. And like it's only like 2 or 3 notes, but you do still kind of smell the Pasha de Cartier fougere DNA here. But It's more oak moss chypre type of smell than anything else. It's so interesting. I love this fragrance. I love when a designer brand steps outside the box with something like this. Gucci's good for that. Cartier seems to be good for that on occasion as well. Not a safe blind buy. But boy, is it an interesting conversation starter when you're the cologne guy in your family and you rock something like this when they expect you to rock something they haven't smelled before. That's where stuff like this comes in. Pasha de Cartier, Noir Absolu. A goated iris fragrance I only wear at this time of year. Dior Homme Parfum. Yield 75 ml. Leather fragrance, more so than iris. A little bit of this slight oud funk, deep rose. I never got the citrus. Supposedly it's mandarin orange. I don't smell it. Powdery iris, that waxy lipstick smell. And when it dries down, creamy sandalwood. Goes from very dark, animalistic type of floral, leather floral, to creamy sandalwood fragrance. Like such a blonde wood transition from darker, heavier. It's kind of funny. It's very two-staged and very like two-faced because it's very different from one another. But monster performer. Hell, the last time I wore it, I only did 2 sprays and it was filling the room. I typically do 4 sprays. I don't need to do 4 sprays. Those of you that do 20 with this, may God have mercy on your soul and everyone around you. That's wild to me. More power to you. Because 2 to 4, damn, they knock your nose on the floor. This stuff's wild. It's amazing, though. It's one of the greatest fragrances I've ever smelled. This is a top 5er in the collection for me as well. Just so good. I have another 75 ml sealed that I'll probably never open, but I'll always have sprays. Dior Homme Parfum. Let's get back to the sweet, shall we? Sweet monster performer, too. I think this was such a great flanker for Jean-Paul Gaultier. We are talking about Le Male Elixir. Honeyed, tobacco, amber, vanilla tonka bean, sweet powder bomb, but it's also got the lavender, the green notes, and all that good stuff of Le Male's DNA. I've had people tell me, no Le Male to be found. Well, I am not an ear, nose, and throat doctor, sir. You did not make an appointment with me, nor can I give you a professional opinion on what's wrong with your nose. So you might want to look into that, because clear Le Male DNA here. It's listed. You smell it. But it's definitely not just basic-ass Le Male, which is an all-time great. But when you compare it, much more interesting fragrance. You gotta like the sweet designers. You gotta be okay with powdery, because you're gonna get sweet, you're gonna get powder, but you're still gonna get Le Male. Interesting fragrance. Some love it, some hate it. I sure love it, and I don't need a lot of sprays. This is a 2 to 3 sprayer because it's a monster on my skin. High compliment factor. My wife loves the sweet designers on me, so naturally you see a lot of sweet fragrances in these recommendations and personal favorites and stuff, because I like sweet designers too. Then on top of that, that's my wife's favorite fragrances for me to wear. So we're a sweet designer type of household. What can I tell you? And this is one of the best to come out in years. Le Male Elixir. We've got another discontinued Fragcom icon. If you get an opportunity to get this, get it. Yeah, it's got Castoreum. Yeah, it's got Civet. Yeah, it's really freaking good. John Varvatos Dark Rebel. The greatest John Varvatos fragrance of all time. Still. They put out some good stuff. Average performer around 6 hours, but it's boozy, it's leathery, it's smoky, and it's got this funk, this light funk, the beaver glands, the castoreum that some people are like, oh, that's terrible. Why would you want that? That must smell awful. No. You just haven't tried the right fragrance, apparently, because it gives depth and character and really blends well in a fragrance. This is so freaking good. This is amazing. There was a time when I got this for like $35 or some shit, $40 for this 4.2 ounce. I'll never run through the bottle, but it's iconic. It's over the top, dark, mysterious, and masculine. Manly fragrance for sure. And perfect for the winter. This will cut through the cold like a hot knife through butter. You hear me? Without having to be a monster performer. It still dices its way through the cold. No problem. And that's John Varvatos Dark Rebel. Another phenomenal iris option. Have you noticed I like to wear a lot of iris and sweet fragrances this time of year? And smoky stuff. That's kind of the common denominator among these. And booze in some cases. But Prada L'Homme Intense. Oh boy. This is a darling. A lot of people love this one. Because you get that soapy iris of this DNA with a subtle, yet very present, let's say soft more than subtle, soft but very present leather accord with a patchouli note that comes across like a very moist, damp, like patchouli. Like it makes it heavy, almost like a muggy type of fragrance, if you will. So freaking good, though. I just can't stop going back to it. Above average longevity without being some monster projector. Very present, very prominent. You don't need a lot of sprays. Less is more with this one. You can dial it up if you need to. 8 to 10 hours in longevity has always been my experience. This stuff is so good. So good. It's gotten its praise. It's gotten its just due. It's not some hidden gem. It's not some secret that not too many people know about. It's been popular over the years, and it's my favorite time of year to wear it. It's the only time of year I wear it. It really, really works perfectly in the cold weather. Prada L'Homme Intense. One of the most interesting tobacco fragrances I own. Still surprises me. I've gotten compliments, and it's been a long time since I've gotten a compliment with it, but I've gotten compliments in the past with Montale Oud Tobacco. Flintstone Vitamins. I've always related that opening to Flintstone Vitamins. Earthy, smoky, dry, obviously extremely woodsy. Very different fragrance. I don't find it challenging at all, though. Very enjoyable wear. I would say this is like middle of the pack when it comes to challenge for oud and tobacco. I think it's beautiful, actually. It doesn't remind me of any other oud tobacco or oud and tobacco fragrance. Some of Pierre Montale's better work when it comes to his earthy, smoky fragrances. And again, when you smell it, at least the way I've always thought, it was like, I don't see this really being something that would have a high compliment factor, but it surprised me a few times. Just a few times, but it did surprise me. It's like, really? Well, thank you. Yeah, it is very smoky. You are correct. I'll never forget, because the first time it was a double whammy. It was two people at a grocery store at a King Soopers when we lived at Colorado Springs. It was the cashier and the bagger, both. And it was like, wow, all right, yeah. Did not see that coming with this fragrance. I'll never forget that first time I wore it. But if you want something interesting, that's affordable, a great performer, good conversation starter type of fragrance, you'll definitely stand out a bit with this one, and I just don't think it's that much of a challenge. When you compare it to a lot of designer stuff, sure, it's a bit more challenging, but when you start looking in the niche world, not really all that challenging. But it's a good one for the winter. Montale Oud Tobacco. In my opinion, the best designer released in 2023. Currently, also in my opinion, the best Spicebomb available on the market is Spicebomb Infrared Eau de Parfum. Leather, resins, smoke, red pepper spice, aromatic, not as sweet peppered as the EDT. This is more refined, more adulterated is the way we'll say that. Because when you compare the EDT to this, I've said it before, you don't realize how youthful and playful Spicebomb Infrared Eau de Toilette is until you smell this. Like, we all love infrared EDT that like Spicebomb. And it's still a lot of people's favorite. And when it was the newest, it was the darling. It was the star of the show. Everybody was loving it. Then when this rolled around, it's like, holy crap, I didn't realize how much of a young man's fragrance that smelled like. Because this smells like its uncle. This smells like Big Daddy. This is the one. This is the one. You may not agree, but this is how I feel. I think it's their best work to date, other than the long discontinued Fresh Flanker. That's not on the market. That's why I don't say it's the best one, because I truly believe that's the best one they ever did. Fight me. I don't care. But with this, get your nose on it. You may love it. You may hate it, but you may love it. Any of you guys over 30? Let your wife smell this on you, or your girlfriend, or whatever. Let her smell this on you. Good chance you're going to end up getting a bottle. It's that cozy and warm for the winter. It's Spicebomb Infrared Eau de Parfum. Last but not least, my favorite Parfums de Marly fragrance. It's an odd one. We were talking about it in a live stream, and I described what it smells like to me. Picture a racquetball, specifically a red one, but a rubber ball in general. Racquetball, cut a blood orange, squirt it on there, sprinkle some black pepper. You get Kalan from Parfums de Marly. And those of you that have it and have smelled it, right now you're going, holy shit, that makes total sense that it smells like, it does smell like that. Any of you that ever played racquetball or anything, you know that rubber ball smell. So if those of you that have this or have smelled it and have played racquetball before are like, holy shit, he hit the nail on the head, right? Now you can't unhear that. Now you're always going to think about it as a racquetball. with pepper and blood orange, right? Oddly attractive kind of stuff. I love the way it smells. Great performer, lingers. It just works well with my skin chemistry. And it does have a little bit of BR 540 sweetness here. I don't think it's so much Baccarat Rouge 540 as some people claim it to be on the internet, but I mean, it's there, but it's still vastly is the word I'll use, vastly different from Baccarat Rouge 540. And again, it's nice and woodsy, ambery and warm. Another very cozy fragrance. So unique. No other fragrance smells like Kalan to me, other than people that, cheaper houses that are cloning Kalan, because there are clones of Kalan out there. And none of them are as good as Kalan. Don't knock it before you try it. It's literally one of my favorite winter fragrances. I saved one of my absolute, I didn't rank them, but this would have been towards the end of the video if I did rank them. It would have been in the top 3 probably, because when it comes to winter, this is an all-time favorite of mine. Parfums de Marly Kalan. Well, that's my 15. I could have did 20. I stopped at 15 because I knew it was going to be a long enough video. We're almost 23 minutes of raw footage as I look at the timer right now. That's plenty. I could have kept going. We could have did 25. Cooler weather. I don't get a lot of it, so I enjoy while I can. I might get one wearing in of each of these because I want to wear them all. Because I don't get a ton of cold weather. I don't live in the mountains anymore. When I lived in Colorado Springs, I had 6 months to work with if I wanted to wear heavier fragrances. I could wear a hoodie all the time. Now I sweat wearing a hoodie going to the gym because it's hot most of the time. But I do have my share of cooler weather this time of year, especially as we get more into January and February. Gets a bit more frosty for sure, but I've been having my share of it lately. It's been nice. I got more coming within the next 2 days. I'll be wearing some heavier stuff. It'll be lows in the 30s, highs 49, 50 degrees. It's going to be great. So thank you guys for watching. Check the links down below if you're interested in checking any of these out. Some of these are discontinued. There will not be links for those. But what's available, I'll try to link for you guys. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe before you leave. Catch you on the next one.